The monthly reminder this month. I'd like to come up with these once in a while because we've together created a lot of amazing information. The Crimson Circle calls it content, but I like that, content. Content. A lot of content, a lot of information, tremendous amount. Today's reminder, coming from the amazing Tobias. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And again, feel it in your head, feel the words, it doesn't matter. And you're like, yeah, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. That's not exactly what Tobias meant. It doesn't matter. He delivered that message, and I was hanging in the wings watching the group. It was in Egypt. It was a group in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. Well, that's a pretty special place. It's one of those places, those iconic places that just about everyone on the planet knows about. The pyramid and that chamber. You know, there's a lot of symbols on the planet, a lot of places that are famous, but that probably is in the top 10 of all places in the world. And what a history it has. What a history it has. In that king's chamber sat Yeshua and Mary, a bunch of Marys, but what you call Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Napoleon, and the list goes on, sat in that room in search of answers, in search of some profound experience. And for those of you who have been in the king's chamber, you go in there, it smells bad. Because a lot of people go in there every day, and it just and there's not a lot of air movement. There's not good ventilation in there, so it kind of builds up over the ages. And for those of you who have been there, and those of you who hadn't, just feel into it for a moment. So you go from the outside, climbing on these stone stairs on the outside of the pyramid. You get into you call it the stairwell, about to make your ascent. And at points, you're having to crawl on all fours. It's so confining. And then your fear of claustrophobia comes up. Yeah. And then right in the middle of all this, you have some people crawling up in front of you. And you have a whole lot of people crawling behind you. You're literally crawling on your hands and knees in parts. And then suddenly, God, blessed biology, I got to go to the bathroom. What are you going to do? And there's no toilet up there. You can't go back that way because there's 25 people crawling on their hands and knees in a space about this wide and this tall.
Where's this going?
I'm distracting, my dear. They were fascinated. They could feel it. Their bladders were puckering up. That was called the art of distraction. Dear God, Linda, please, would you help me? So let's get back to it. You're crawling on your hands and knees, and you really got to go. And you're thinking, I shouldn't have had that coffee before I came up here. And then you finally get up into the king's chamber. Suddenly you open up into a room not even as big as this, maybe the ceiling a little higher, but smaller than just this studio area right here. And there's nothing. There's no beautiful paintings on the wall. There's no carvings on the wall. There's no carpet on the floor. There's no toilet. There's nothing. It's a big room that echoes. The only thing up at the front is a sarcophagus. It's been there for ages, of course. And it's kind of old and chipping away, and that's it. That's it. Then all the attention seems to focus on the only thing in the room, the sarcophagus. And what does that bring up? Death. Death. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Well, yeah, you are, but not necessarily right there. It brings up all the issues. And so here we have it. That was my distraction. So here we have a group of 50 Shambra. And with these incredible expectations of what was going to happen there. First, the expectation that it was going to be some gold painted room and it's going to have mummies and everything. There's nothing. So that they go through that initial shock, and the one fascinating thing about this chamber is the echo, because when you talk, it echoes through, not just bouncing in the room, but it feels like it's going out lifetimes and then coming back, because it's exactly what it's doing. It's going out into other realities and then coming back. So it has a very unique sound. The group sat down, Tobias came in. Everybody was expecting the answer of answers in the Holy of Holies, the big answer to life and all of its mysteries and all of its questions. And Tobias played it for everything it's worth and took a deep breath, and there was some toning, I believe, and then there was silence, and then finally Tobias talked very slow and deliberate, and then came to the big moment. The reason why I have gathered all of you here from all of creation, from all parts of this world, the reason why you've journeyed thousands of miles and come across the desert on camels to get here and had to go to the bathroom on your way up through the corridors. The reason is to give you this profound message. It doesn't matter. You can imagine the disappointment. It doesn't matter. Nobody said a word, of course, but you could feel it being screamed out from every. It doesn't matter. I've done all of this. I'm sitting here in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and you say it doesn't matter. This was supposed to be the culmination of my spiritual journey right here, the focal point of humanity, the 0 point of civilization right here, where the greats like Yeshua, Napoleon, and many, many others have sat, and you tell me it doesn't matter? It does not matter. And that actually was such a profound message. I had to bring it back for today. Such a profound message, because in all of this struggling you're doing, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not. You do not get extra credit, brownie points, or a fresh cup of coffee for all the struggling you're doing going into enlightenment. Nada. Nothing. Because all of the mental effort, all the trying to figure all this out, to make sense of it, to find the way through the maze to the secret chamber that will bring you into enlightenment, none of it counts. None of it counts. It's mental macchio. It's BS. You're fooling yourself. All the studying, as I have said, and all the thinking through, all the begging that you do at night to me and to the others, when you can't get my attention, I know you cheat on me. You go to some other entity. We talk with each other. We talk. Just the other night, it's like one of the other masters came out and said, Henrietta's been cheating on you, Adamus. She's been over here at this other club. And it's like, I know, it doesn't bother me much, but I'll get to her one of these days. None of it matters. You think it does, you want it to, and it doesn't. There are no big secrets. There's no fast track to enlightenment, and there's no wrong track to enlightenment. Put that on the website. There is no fast track to enlightenment, and there's no wrong track to enlightenment. It just is. And the sooner you realize that and stop working at it, all the questioning in your brain, in our article, we'll go into it in more detail, but every time you ask one of these questions in your brain, it goes out into the universe searching for the answers. And it's not going to come back until it thinks it has an answer. Now you got all these questions. What am I here for? Who am I? How do I find true happiness? What am I doing wrong? What should I do different tomorrow? Who am I again? Who am I again? And when will I have enlightenment? You're sending all these out into all the other realms. You got all these little search bugs out there, roaming around trying to find the answers, and they're not going to. That's confusing because you can feel that. You got how many tens of billions of these questions that you asked, and that was just in the past week. And they're out there trying to find the answers. They're searching. They're not going to find it because none of it matters. None of it matters. There is as I called it, a directive or a gravity of fulfillment. Not because of a head choice, not because of the human choice, but because of the natural evolution and because of a deep soul desire for realization. It's going to happen. It is happening. But the fact is that you think you're making it happen. You're not. You're getting in the way. You think that by focusing or meditating or doing some of these exercises or whatever, eating a certain way. No, there's a directive of fulfillment from your soul, from the I am. That is the realization. The I am is simply asking you, would you damn enjoy life for a little while? Would you just please enjoy life? Have a good meal. Walk in nature. Have sex. Been a long time. Have sex. Listen to music. Do something fun. But there is such a rigidity, such a Calder, not my words, but his anal retentiveness about all this. And I got to keep working. Got to keep working at it. Got to keep working at it. No, you don't. So let's stop that right here. There's no great big answers other than allowing. We've had a lot of sessions. We've talked a lot. We've shared a lot. We've cried a lot. We've laughed a little. But it's a distraction, kind of, to allow a natural process to get you out of your own way. It doesn't matter. All the things that you think matter, it doesn't matter. Health actually doesn't really matter. Wealth, not at all. Keeping what you call the straight and narrow, abiding by your rules, it doesn't matter. Tobias tried that. He tried to follow God's rules according to the Jewish faith, and it didn't matter whatsoever. God doesn't care. So all this hard work, I see it, and this last month in particular, things went faster more than they went slow this last month. And I also saw you amping up, trying to manage all of this, and you can't. Let yourself experience it. Let yourself feel it. That's if there was anything other than it doesn't matter, let yourself feel it, not think about it. And these woes and these issues you have. Oh, what am I going to do? And stop and take a deep breath. None of them really matter. They really don't. Everything that you think is important, it doesn't matter. Sorry, that wasn't real, Edith. That was just a fake one. Oh, maybe it was. So let's start this job by saying just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You're not going to figure it out, human. And you're not being asked to, human. The only thing you're being suggested is, would you just damn enjoy it? And stop trying to figure out where you should move to next or what you should change your name to. It doesn't matter. Change your name to Edith. You all be Ediths all around the world.